I'm making a video on how to work more efficiently on a PC, be it one running Windows or macOS. So, how to be more efficient when working on a PC? Uh, I like this title of the book. It has nothing to do with the presentation itself. So I once was in Bucharest and I asked the person, "Look, I need some information. Where can I take bus so and so?" And the person told me, "You see that huge building over there? It's the place where you need to take the bus is on the opposite side." The thing is, I was in Unirii Market in Romania, in Unirii Square, and it's a huge, at least for my standard, it's a huge square, uh, 100, 200 meters. So he pointed to one direction, but he told me it's on the other side, but it was on the totally opposite side of the market. It was 100 or 200 meters away. He might have made the joke, he might be serious, I don't know, but it was very strange because he said, "Look, you see that thing? Well, it's over there." Something like that. So this is with the title, everything you need to know you learn in kindergarten. No, you didn't learn what I am about to tell you in kindergarten. It's the exactly opposite situation. uh, I think you can learn some things from kindergarten, ethics, perhaps, how to communicate some things, how to be joyful, how to be daring, how to start things, how to talk to someone, whatever. But you won't learn computer software in kindergarten, at least when I was a kid. Okay, so I will tell you two things. First, two principles in software productivity. I will tell you just two principles. I will delve into some details, but first I will start with two principles, and then I will tell you some software to use on Windows and macOS. At the end, there will be room for questions if you have questions. Okay, think about what you need. Yeah. So, um, let's say I want to start something. I want to start a file at the beginning or at the running of Windows. So I need first perhaps to start Windows and Excel. Okay, immediate launch. I need to do some movement of files. Okay, file moving. I'll perhaps need to rename some files. Okay, file renaming. I'll need to rename some files randomly, random file names, and so on. So this thing with the idea of starting things at the beginning, at the running of Windows, began when I was very little, and there was no Windows. There was just okay, there was Windows, but a lot of things were done in a thing called MS DOS, and now it's replaced by command prompt. So I was used to batch files since batch files were a thing. Right now they're not a thing anymore, but you can still run a batch file at the beginning of at the running of Windows at the startup. So I will tell you some things about batch files. But just imagine, okay, so I know batch files are things that can be run. Okay, from it I can start to Word and Excel. Okay, I can move some files. Okay, I can rename some files. Okay, I can rename some files randomly. I can give them random names. Okay, so all of this came useful, but it all started, okay, I can run a batch file. Let's see what I can do with it. And from there, things went more and more complex. Okay, so to start a file, a piece of software with a batch file, first you change the current directory. CD means change directory, I think. Change directory to Office, start in Word. The second one should be start Excel. Start Word, start Excel. Okay. You can also run software in different ways. There is a startup folder in start menu Windows. There are other solutions, but uh, this is one possible solution. Change directory, WinWord, Excel, start. The second command should be start, not rem. Rem means it's a comment. Okay. Moving files. Change directory, then change the drive. So first changes the directory. The second command did the semicolon changes the current drive, it changes again the directory, and then it starts moving some files according to some patterns. Okay. All of these I started understanding. Okay, I knew from old times, okay, you can change directory, but you also need to change drives. I knew that from long time ago. But the comment at the end, I just googled it. Okay, how do I move using a batch template? Okay, and some results. I googled it, I read, and then I got to this solution. Perfect, it worked great. So what this command does is, okay, it changes to one directory, but you see at the end it has a asterisk, which means that the folder is too complex to be written. That's why I didn't fill in completely. It contains some special characters and it needs to be filled in. And then it changes the drive, and then after it changes to OneDrive University so and so, it changes again the current directory. Okay. And then it moves the files using that pattern on the D drive. File renaming. Okay, this is, I had to Google it. I wanted to rename the files so that they contain year, month, date. I looked it up. When I changed Windows and I changed the date format, this thing didn't work anymore. I had to change it again and so on. So it's interesting to see. Okay, I have an issue. Okay, I need to rename files based on date pattern. How do I do this? And then how do I adapt? I reinstall Windows. Does this pattern change? Yes. So what do I do next? And how to do stuff. And look, this line is cryptic. I don't understand it very well. Okay, so it's something like 4 characters, go 0 characters from there, and so on and so on. I'm not very sure what it does. But if I would read it, I would understand. But I don't need to remember it. So it starts with the year, and then it goes on with the month, and then it goes on with the date. And the 0.4 means 4 characters, 5.2 means starting from 5 going 2 characters, 8 starting from 8 2 characters. And then the pattern from renaming and so on. But I don't need to know all this stuff. I could find it online. Okay, adapt a bit. Okay. Random file names. So first one says the criteria, the second one sets a criteria, and then it renames 2 files. This is for a game called Heroes of Might and Magic. So the game always generates GM1 and GM2 as save, but I want to back up those files, but I cannot back up them because perhaps I would play 10 games in a day. So each time it stays with the same name overwriting. So what the software does, okay, in that case I will randomly rename the files, and it's a very low likelihood that the files will be identical because there are a lot of random characters. I put this in a batch file, but I showed you all this stuff because I want to make you understand, okay, I have this thing. Okay, how do I start software at the beginning of at the running of Windows? Okay, I need to run a batch file. Okay, or I can put it in startup folder. Okay, good. Okay, now how do I start a software? Okay, I can put in startup folder. Okay, I this was mentioned before. How do I rename stuff? I can only do this with batch file. How can I move file with batch file? How can I rename files randomly with batch files? So I need to look it up multiple, but each time. Okay, I have this idea. Let's say I have I have on my desktop images, docs, text files, zip archives, PDFs. I don't want each day to start sorting files because it's a lot of work, and if I'm working non-stop at the computer, there are a lot of files to be gone through. So I put them in one folder. The batch file sorts them for me. And things get more particular. Like I have that game where it saves with the same name. Okay, then in that case, give them a random name. Okay, I have... there are all sorts of things that I need to take into account with the batch file. You can find it in here. It does all sorts of stuff. Changing directories, renaming, whatever. But I don't want you to be an expert in batch file. I want you to understand that it all started from one need. Okay, I need to automate the process of starting application, renaming files, moving files, renaming files randomly. Once I've done this, it helped me find the solution. The difficult part was not finding the solution. That was okay. In 10 minutes, perhaps I will find the solution to my specific problem. It took me, okay, let's say 2 hours to create that long batch file. But once I've done it, now it's easy. Now it's simple, and now I can, if I need another pattern, batch file is easy. And if I need something else, okay, I'll look it up to find what options do I have. How to imagine things you can do with software. Okay, you can do tutorials. If you do a Photoshop tutorial, a Microsoft Word tutorial, whatever, it will take you to, okay, you can do with this software so and so and so. If you run a programming, okay, I want to do C++ programming. If you will take a tutorial, they will tell you, okay, do these steps. And at the end of the tutorial, okay, I will not internalize the process. I will not know it by heart. But I will remember when I need it, most likely, okay, there was something that would do this solution. So doing tutorials with Word, PowerPoint, and C++ can help you, okay, these are the options with the software. This is what I can do with it. Okay. Another option, read productivity resources. I like Lifehacker. It tells you. I will present some software in this presentation, and some of the software come from Lifehacker. I wouldn't imagine there was a solution for some of them. So the biggest problem is not finding a software. Okay, how do I find the software that does this perfectly? Okay, why would I need this? I don't even imagine I can do it. This is the hard part. Okay, you can read some on Reddit. There are subreddits, so like sub forums, something like that, and they can be specific. One is for Mac, one is for iPhone, one is for Apple Watch, whatever specific device you use. There are some subreddits, and on them, so from time to time, people ask, okay, what's the best solution to do X? And if you read stuff, you will know more. And again, point 3, because 1, 2, 3 again, constantly think how you can solve repetitive tasks. How can I automate some tasks? Okay, why is it important to have good Google search skills? Most tasks can be solved by Googling things up. So I'm not an expert with batch files. I just Google stuff and I found some solution. Principle number 2, launch it when you need it. Okay, in the first things I do in the morning, I look at the things which are on my table. So specifically in the evening, I left things out on the table. This. Tomorrow, next thing, first thing I do in the morning are the things on the table. Computer starts up, some applications start up. Another solution, batch file. Okay. At the beginning of the day, I have a list of URLs I open. At the end of the day, another list of URLs. At the end of the day, I run a batch file. Specific tasks. I have a dedicated Chrome instance. So, I don't know, I want to post on social media. I want to post news. I want to whatever. I have a dedicated Chrome browser just for that thing because I can be logged in those specific websites. And for example, if on one browser I need to be logged in Facebook and then another one in another Facebook account or a Facebook page or another Twitter account and so on, it's complicated. I have to log out, log in. Okay, it's much more simple. I have 2 or 3 or 4 Google Chromes separately installed, separate accounts. And for each of them, okay, in one thing I have one Facebook account, one Twitter account and so on. In another account, another Facebook account, another Twitter account and so on. Works with Gmail. In Gmail you can have in the same browser more Gmail accounts logged in. But you cannot have 20 Gmails accounts because I have a lot of Gmails. I have lots of Gmails for whatever reasons. And again, it helps me handle this situation. Bookmarks. Okay, for specific tasks, when I need to focus, okay, I need 5 bookmarks. In another situation, I need another 5 bookmarks. It's simpler to switch the browsers than to have just a lot of huge amount of folders on one single browser. Okay. I receive a calendar memo for specific days of the week. I open a list of URLs. Before an event, I have a memo, a calendar memo. I open a text file. Before an event, another text file. After an event, another text file. if I put a thing on my desktop, I know I need to focus on doing it. So if I put it, something need to happen with them. I have some other things which are not that important. I put folders, text files. And the last thing I do in the evening, I put some things on the bed. I know that before going to bed, I need to process those things. This is how I open a list of bookmarks in Chrome and Firefox. These are some folders that a startup folder at the start of my computer. There are other software I installed, but this is it. Okay, and how do you open a list of files? This is solution number one. Right click, open all bookmarks. But you can also install a Firefox or Chrome extension, and you right click and do keep holding right click, and it opens a lot of links. In this example, there are just 4 links, but you will come to situations when you open 20 links, whatever. There are sites that just list a lot of links, and you need to click 20 times. It's simpler to get an extension from Firefox or Chrome. Right click, select, when you release, open 20 links. It's simpler that way. Okay, and I show you in here, I have you can have different browsers. For example, Opera is a different browser than Chrome. There is Brave, Edge, Safari for Mac. There are more, Vivaldi, Firefox. But what I prefer doing is creating multiple Chrome accounts. I write on them, this is the login with so and so. This is login and so and so. Okay. Software to use. We will go through now through a list of software I use on Windows. I'm not very familiar with macOS, but I tried also to present the macOS alternative. So my main focus on Windows. I worked from time to time on macOS, but I'm not as familiar as I am with Windows. Rescue Time is a piece of software that allows you to receive a weekly report of what you did the previous week. Okay, this week so you can see in that report how it looks, the email, and each week you will get an email. You don't have to share it with somebody else, but just for your personal sake, okay, I need to know how have I spent my time on Windows. It also tells you how you spend on mobile, but to me it's I generally computer time is something as you see it in this window. Okay, this you might have already knew. So on macOS you have some software. On mobile phones there are solutions for this. Not on Windows. I think this is the best for Windows, but you probably already knew about this stuff on macOS or on smartphone. But I will tell you something that you could do this for music also. There is an application. It integrates with YouTube, with whatever you listen to. It pretty much has a solution. It's not that easy to configure. It's actually hard. So it's not easy to configure. But once you configure it, you just play music, and this application tells you, okay, last week you listened to so and so, these artists, these songs. It gives you a lot of information, and I like it. You just install it, take some time to configure it, but afterwards you just get the reports, and I like this software a lot. If you view images on Windows, I totally recommend Irfan View. It's extremely small, like you click, it's open. So I prefer to use text files and this software for images because it's instant. For software, for text files, Microsoft Word is much better than a text editor, a simple text editor, but it starts much slower. If I open a Word file, okay, 2 or 3 seconds. I don't like this. Irfan View, click enter, the image opens. Click a text file, it opens. So that's why I use text files. Okay, when you search for a file in Windows, what needs to happen is Windows needs to search at that moment. So if you have a lot of files, it will take a lot of time for Windows to search through all the files in all your computer each time you want to do a search, and it's very annoying. Locate 32 does the following thing. It creates a database on your computer. You can schedule to update once a week, or you can click F9 and okay, I want it now. I don't want to wait until Friday. F9, do it now, and okay. And when it searches, it doesn't search the file on your computer, but it searches the previously built database. You might think, okay, but if you update it once per week, it's not recent. Okay, but most likely the recent files you already know where they are. What I found I mostly need is finding files that are like 2 weeks from before now, or 2 months before now. Where is that file? I don't know. Locate, instantly find it. Great. If it's a file from 2 or 3 days ago, I generally have an idea where I will find it without using this software. And the fact that it's instant, it's really great. There are solutions in Windows, so you can have instant build and so on. macOS does it by default, but I tend to prefer a software like this because it doesn't constantly go through the files on my computer. I don't like that. I prefer, okay, once per week, scan everything, build a database, and that's it. I don't want each time I open, save, close, move. I don't want this. I prefer this solution. I think it's faster and better with the hard drive life. I'm not sure with hard drive life. I might say something wrong. Sorry. Okay. How do you launch files? There is this thing. So the typical solution of how people launch files. Click on Start, Programs, Microsoft Word. They put something on desktop, Windows D to go to desktop, double click on icon and so on. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. It's like if you have a lot of software, if you have a lot of files, if you have a lot of documents, it will take forever to remember, okay, I had this document, how was the name, where was it, double click, find, forever. With this piece of software on Windows, just type a configuration shortcut and you type, okay, Word, enter, Excel, enter. And it remembers if you have WordPad and Word on the computer and Word, it asks you what do you want to launch, WordPad or Word. Once you select Word, next time it will remember, oh, you prefer Word, not WordPad. Okay, Word enter means Word, WordPad enter means WordPad. It learns how you choose things, what you most often launch. Okay. And you can also set it to open documents. So if you have a certain text file, like I have a lot of text files, if you have a certain Excel, Word, whatever, type the name, and if you add the shortcut to its database, you can. So this software scans some folders, but if you put in the folder shortcuts to files, it will also scan them. So it's very simple. I will just create a shortcut to my most used document, Excel, Word, whatever. I will put them in a folder, rebuild the catalog if it's not set to automatically rebuild, and then type the name, enter. It's very quick. I like it very much. I like text files more than Word documents and Excel because they launch instantly. So type enter, it starts, save, close quickly. I'm in love with this software. For archives, I use WinRAR. I think it's the best solution. I've been using it since it was rar.exe or something, rar.com or something like that. And now it's on Windows, and I like it very much. And I like this piece of software. On macOS, I tried using some free software, but they weren't as good. I don't want to pay. I rarely use macOS. I don't want to pay for RAR. And I use the default software, but it's not nearly as good as what you can have on Windows. It's premium, but it's totally worth the money on Windows to buy WinRAR. I recommend it. For PDFs, why should you? There's Adobe. Everyone knows Adobe Readers is for PDFs, and it's their software. Why shouldn't you use Adobe? In my opinion, it starts very slow. So when you start Adobe, it starts like huge stuff. So do I have Adobe on my computer? Yes. But I only use it when I need to, for example, do something like fill in a document with signature and certificates and so on. For a simple PDF, 99% of the cases, Sumatra PDF does everything perfectly. I didn't use that much on macOS, but I think it's good. I would use something like this to open PDF files because it's faster. It's very surprising that Adobe built the PDF format and they built their PDF reader, and now there are other pieces of software that are faster than Adobe, which is very strange, but I think it will start faster than Adobe. So I have Adobe, but only for certificates and so on. Very rarely I need it. For most cases, Sumatra PDF does start, enter, quick, very fast. Okay. Clipboard Manager. In the recent Windows version, it's integrated in Windows. It does the following. When you copy paste something, it remembers what you copied, and you can have a history list. So you can have, okay, what I copied 2 weeks before now. Okay, I found it useful. It has a history. You can search through it. It's rather nice. So if you copy paste a lot, this should help you. Link to Windows. I didn't show you a screenshot because there are personal messages and so on. I didn't want to show that, but you can transfer messages, calls, apps. You can run apps from Windows. You can transfer clipboard and so on. So you can copy paste on Windows. No, you can copy on Windows, paste on device. You can copy on Android and paste on Windows. You can compose a message from Windows and it gets sent by the phone. You can see the list of calls on Windows. On macOS, this is native, much better integration. I don't like how it's currently working on Windows, but this wasn't possible a few years ago. Right now, I'm very thankful that such a solution exists. I find Total Commander a bit better than the standard Explorer for things like renaming files. It's very good at batch renaming. You can see in that list it has all sorts of options to rename to batch rename a file. There are some files which are harder to again. Microsoft built Windows Explorer, but Total Commander, a software not related to Microsoft, okay, they are better at accessing some files than Windows Explorer. This is like, okay. And they are better at, if you copy 5 files, you can copy in Explorer, no problem. If you copy a lot of data, I find Total Commander better. You just try it. Try to copy something, but for example, the length. If the path of the file, folder file is too long, you will have issues in Windows Explorer. Total Commander can overpass this. If you copy paste and the file already exists, Total Commander gives you more options to copy and paste. So overwrite files, overwrite by all sorts of criteria. So I'm telling you, if you copy 5 files, it doesn't matter. If you copy 1 terabyte of data, use Total Commander, but 1 terabyte of small data, small files. Okay, and there is a solution for macOS which I haven't used before. Okay, for files there are multiple options. This is where the things get. So if you work with people who use a lot Google Drive ecosystem, perhaps Google Drive will be a better option for you. I found that. So irrespective of collaboration, so if you work with people who use OneDrive, you will use OneDrive. This is very simple. If you work with people who use iCloud for macOS, you should get a Mac and use iCloud for macOS. It's very, very simple. But if you work with various people who use all sorts of files, or they don't share files with you and you don't care with what you are using, I found that, in my opinion, the best solution is Dropbox. I am very happy with it, long time user and so on. Very happy with the Dropbox. On macOS, you have iCloud directly from the software. I think we are getting close to the end. If you want to automatically adjust the color of the screen. So at the evening, okay, I want to dim the lights. This is a good solution. I will present you 3 more ideas to how to use software. Another one, the first one is auto hotkey. You can create a script. I put the 100% script I use for currently with the instruction I currently use for my keyboard. What it does, it changes caps lock to print screen. So when I press caps lock, it automatically prints screens. Very good, very nice. Just one thing. I use this software just to change one key. Perfect. It's more than enough. I don't want to look where print screen is. I don't like it. Caps lock, it's there. Very good. In Windows, it will take too much to present, but if you do repetitive tasks in Word and Excel, you should look it up what macros can do. They're very interesting. And for repetitive tasks, I haven't used them in a while, but I used to use them at some point. Right now I don't. Well, amazingly, I don't do so many repetitive tasks. But if you do a set of instructions repeatedly, you should consider researching some repetitive tasks. These are the software I want to present. I think there was a slide, I'm not sure. I want to go again. Okay, so we went through 2 main things. I presented you 2 principles that you should take into account. One is think how you should use, what you need to use software for, and the second one I told you, use stuff when you need it. So you will go to someplace else, make a list, and exactly before leaving have a look at it. So that's a good principle. And I showed you some software to use. Thank you for watching my presentation.